Welcome back. The news in details. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi held a meeting on Monday with the governor of the central bank and a number of officials on the latest activities of the state's banking sector. Presidential spokesman Bassem Radi said that during the meeting, President al-Sisi praised the efforts of the vital sector in boosting the developmental process. The president directed to support the internet security system of financial sector and was briefed by several presidential developmental initiatives supported by the CBE during the past period. The head of state also discussed assets of lands affiliated to the bank, where he instructed to start preparing marketing studies for optimal investments for these lands. Major clashes broke out on Monday between Palestinian worshippers and Israeli occupation forces near the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in the occupied Jerusalem. Hundreds of people threw projectiles at the Israeli security forces, who responded with stun grenades, tear gas and rubber bullets. More than 300 people were wounded on Monday in renewed clashes between Palestinians and Israeli occupation forces in Jerusalem, as an Israeli celebration of its 1967 takeover of the Holy City threatened to further inflame tensions. Palestinians hurled rocks at Israeli officers in riot gear who fired rubber bullets, stun grenades and tear gas on the esplanade of the revered Al-Aqsa Mosque. The violence was the latest in days of the worst such disturbances in Jerusalem since 2017, fueled by a long-running bid by Jewish settlers to take over nearby Palestinian homes in the occupied East Jerusalem. A key court hearing scheduled for Monday on Sheikh Jarrah, the Flashpoint East Jerusalem neighborhood at the center of the property dispute, has meanwhile been postponed. There were fears of further violence ahead of a planned march on Monday by Israelis to commemorate the takeover of Jerusalem in the 1967 war, an anniversary known as Jerusalem Day in the Jewish state. Much of the recent violence stems from a long-running legal effort by Jewish settler groups to evict several Palestinians from their homes in Sheikh Jarrah. A lower court ruling this year backing the settlers' decades-old claim to the plots infuriated Palestinians. A Supreme Court hearing on a Palestinian appeal had been set for Monday, but the Justice Ministry said Sunday that in light of all the circumstances it would delay the hearing. Israel annexed East Jerusalem following the 1967 takeover, a move not recognized by the international community. The Arab League announced that it will hold a foreign ministers' emergency meeting on Tuesday upon a Palestinian request. The meeting discusses the latest Israeli aggression against the Palestinians in the occupied Jerusalem and the Al-Aqsa Mosque during the holy month of Ramadan. The foreign ministers will also tackle Israeli attempts to evict Palestinians from their homes in the Sheikh Jarrah district, which is seen as a move aimed at emptying Jerusalem from its Palestinian population. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli inspected on Monday a number of housing and roads projects in Giza Governorate. Madbouli was accompanied by Minister of Housing and Giza Governor. He inspected a number of housing units built by the Urban Communities Authority in October Gardens to move residents in slum areas to them. Madbouli directed the completion of all service areas of the project, paving the way for transferring the beneficiaries to their housing units as soon as possible. He also inspected the model of a housing unit that was furnished as part of the project. The Premier hailed the quality of the furnishing and finishing. The Minister of Housing said the projects included building a total of 104 social housing apartment blocks, adding that the project was implemented in 18 months.